Two chiefs are recommended.
Phillipson and Gardner. Gardner Fire Chief.
So if the Phillipson doesn't get his full-time fire department over there, what they're applying for, and then they apply for the job here, chief of police, chief of fire department, is Mr. Bankowski going to step aside? Mr. Bankowski going to step aside? If Mr. Stevens applies for the job, his permanent job.
That I don't know,
If he don't get his job over to Phillipson.
as I'm not aware of that. Okay, any more discussion from the board? Sue?
Are either one of these people, these candidates, on another fire department in the area?
Not that I'm aware
Not
of.
that I'm aware of. Larry, are you on another department?
Yes, I'm on the Phillipson Fire Department also.
Okay,
I'll be taking leave of absence from over there.
okay, you're gonna take a leave of that. And Dave, you have any other affiliations?
No, I do not. I am only on the Temple Fire Department at this time.
Okay, thank you. We ready for a vote?
Captain Dave, are you currently working full-time?
Yes,
And when you take this interim position, are you going to take this on full-time or?
the interim position was never told if it was going to be a full-time position or not.
So you're not going to be here during the day anyways?
The board has not decided on their action on that, if they're asking the interim chief to be full-time or not.
Right.
I have had talks with my boss at work, and I have come to some understandings with him, and I do work locally, so I have the ability to respond during the day as well when I am working locally, which I do quite a bit.
Okay.
The board has never said if they wanted someone full-time in the slot or not.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor, it's seconded. Ready to take a vote? Okay. Yes, Rudy.
As I listen to all these things about putting more people on and so forth, sounds like a good idea, but when we can't even stay within our budget, it looks like we're in trouble. I would suggest in the long run that we do away with two selectmen, have only three, and get a town manager to run the ship. Because it looks like we're going sinking deep.
Okay, thank you.
My opinion.
Thank you. Hold on to that. Okay, we'll take a vote. This motion is for appoint Larry Bankowski, interim fire chief. And I think we should add the date, midnight, May 4th, which is the day after Tom retires. You want to add that?
I'll add that.
Get that, Dan?
So it's
Mid-
to be
Effective midnight, May 4th. Any other comments from the board? Julie?
Is this going to be a full-time position as interim fire chief, or is it a part-time position as interim fire
It'll
chief?
be a full-time. Diane?
Does Mr. Bankowski have a job, full-time job?
Larry, you have a full-time job?
Yes, I do. I own a business, my son is gonna be taking over, and I will be able to work full-time.
Okay, thank you. Tom?
Just on that, I think you should make it midnight On the 3rd, my first official day in Winchendon is on the 4th, so they will be taking over.
Okay, I wasn't sure on the timing. Thank you. Okay, so amended to midnight to 3rd. And we amended.
Yeah, I'll. Amended, yeah, the motion is amended to be at midnight on the 3rd. May 3rd. Thank you.
Okay, all set, Nancy?
Yes.
All right. All right, Pat,
Yes.
Virginia,
Yes.
Chris?
I'm going to say yes to, I want to show support for the department, but that does not mean that when, we do the interviews, I will, back them then. But for the interim, I'm going to say yes so that we have a solid base.
Yep.
Based on the, I'm going to vote no, just based on the recommendation of Fire Chief Tom Smith. If Larry applies for the full-time position, that will be a different case.
Okay, and yes. Now, do we wish to go out for advertising for a full-time chief? Is what we want to start.
I think we should be waiting until the beginning of the next fiscal year.
We're going to need one.
Yes, we can start.
We'll just start, my thought was with the budget the way it is, wait till we get through the we could go, we could get the advertising period started and then make it after town meeting.
My thought is it's going to take, a while. So I would assume we'll have more than one round of interviews for this, depending on how many applicants we get. I would say we should go advertise. We have to decide if we want to do in-house or if we want to go external and in-house together. And then see what we get for applicants and then go from there. And we also have to come up with a board to do the interviews, I think, other than just the selectmen.
Based on what happened with the treasurer interview, where we had a candidate, but he couldn't start for a month, you don't know if you're going to run into that. I would be in favor of advertising as soon as possible. In case we get a number of candidates, then we can have a couple of rounds. In case they can't, quit, on the spur of the moment, they may need a month or so to come in. And it's middle of April already.
How do you feel about going in-house or outside?
Can't hear you. Can't hear you, Mr. Chairman.
Just ask him if you wanted to go
Yes.
in-house first or outside.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I didn't say anything. I just said,
How about you, Chris? You think we should go within house or outside?
I think we should probably do it all at once because I think in-house we're going to be very limited to probably 2 or 3 people. And, I think we should do the in and out at the same time for a position like this and then see what we get.
I agree with Chris. I think we need to advertise both at the same time so that we can, because we're going to have plenty of time to do the process, we'll be able to get them down. And I think,
How long should we advertise?
Chief Smith, how did we do this with, when you were hired, did they do in-house first, or were there even any advertisements when you were hired?
Yeah, it was advertised out in the paper. They did a board, they had a couple area chiefs on the board as well as the select board. I know that was the process they had used in the past. I would recommend they probably do the same style of process. As far as trying to go out as soon as possible, definitely it could take a while, because I know some contracts have between 30 days and 60 days notice required for in the position, so it could be an extended period of time.
So we wanna go outside, how long do we wanna go out for? I'll get to you in a minute. Anybody have thoughts on that? 2 weeks be enough? I think so. Julia?
I believe you can advertise as well on the Mass Municipal Association website. I believe that will help in broaden your search, and I don't believe it's that expensive to do that.
Thank you. Dave? I'll get you next, Dan.
I just want to say I agree with the board on this. Town deserves the best candidate they can get for fire chief, and go internal and external at the same time, is where they'll find that candidate faster.
Thank you. You get that? Dan, I guess you and
I
that.
just wanted to express that if we have a qualified candidate in town, and I'm not in a position to make that judgment, somebody, the chief might be able to. But if we have a qualified and interested candidate in town, why not use the people that we have instead of going out the land process?
Well, we go out the same length of time, I think, Dan, and it open it up to more candidates. Okay, want to put that in the form of a motion then, to go outside for 2 weeks, and we'll make sure we advertise locally and on that MMA site.
All right. I would move to put it out for 2 weeks, inside and outside at the same time. That's what it's saying.
I would give like Monday, April 30th is the date to have everything.
With Monday, April 30th as the date to,
17 days.
that would give us 17 days.
Okay, that okay with the board? Okay, Chris seconds it. Any discussion on the board? Anyone else out there? Okay, Jeff?
I will vote yes, but, is there a time deadline?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
30.
April 30th.
Right. Yes. Close the business. It'd be fine if you have the advertisement.
Virginia?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
And yes. Okay, next on the item on the agenda, discuss letter to USDA regarding contact for town of Templeton. Last meeting, Monday, Jeff brought up about a letter that was made to USDA in response to a letter they sent to town, as they wanted somebody from the town officially to represent the Templeton So the letter was typed, and with the information that was requested, the main reason, I guess, the USDA must have received some correspondence and they have no letterhead. Now, the letter was written, it was stuck, it was put in the selectmen's folder for the board to read and so forth. My intention was to first come have it on Monday night's agenda to be voted on. It did not get on the agenda for whatever reason. So to the board, I apologize for that. I probably should have signed it until we did vote on it. So that's why I bring it here tonight to see what the board's wishes are, if they wish to rescind the letter or name somebody else on it or devise another letter, whatever you choose to do. So I'll open up for discussion on it. And like I said, it's just in title only, it's just to have somebody, a contact person for the USDA. I guess you were first, Julie.
My question has to do with the USDA loan application, the initial application. When did the Board of Selectmen vote to apply for a USDA loan?
This is just in regards to this letter that was.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Well,
The USDA loan. You wrote a letter to the USDA saying that you were the contact person for this loan. So you should know about this loan. You're the chairman of the Board of Selectmen. You set the agenda. This should have been put on the agenda. You should have put the letter on the agenda.
Yes, I should have. It was intended to be put on.
So you should know about the USDA loan that you signed a letter for to be the contact person.
It wasn't about the loan. It was just to be, to keep general contact with the town. It was nothing to do with the loan.
To be the contact person for what? The loan. The USDA
If
loan
there's any
application.
correspondence, we didn't have it, didn't say anything about the loan.
So why did the USDA contact you about a contact person for what?
That for the future communication, so they have somebody to contact.
In general, or was it about the loan for 252 Bolivar Road?
It's about the project, nothing in specific about it. Diane, you have a problem?
No, you do.
Well, that's your warning.
All right, I still would like to follow up. You said this letter was in the selectmen's folder and did everyone read it? Mr. Mullins, did you see the letter to the USDA? Did you see it beforehand? You never saw it before this point in time?
I did.
You did. Mr. Stewart, did you see this letter that you have before you?
I did not. I was at the office on Sunday, which is the day before.
Okay,
I obviously saw it because I brought it up.
okay,
I read it. It's dated April 9th.
all right.
And like I said, it was intended to be on Monday night's agenda, and then, and for whatever reason, it didn't get on, it did go out.
Okay, and for clarity for the rest of us who do not have access to this letter, could you please read what it says?
We received your letter dated March 26 regarding intentions to proceed with the Templeton Hall Public Safety Building. We assure you that our intentions to proceed with it, but we assure you that it is our intention to proceed with this project. Municipal Building Committee received permission from the board at its February 13th meeting to proceed to quotation. Construction bids were solicited on the Central Register and are due no later than May 2nd. Subcontractor bids April 8th to April 18th. The pre-bid walkthrough is scheduled for April 11th at 2 p.m. We also plan to conduct a general open house for the public sometime in the next 30 days in order to generate public awareness and support for the project. The construction bids meet our design specifications and our cost requirements. We expect to begin construction later this year. It has the project manager's information. And it just says that I'll be the contact person for the project and with all correspondence addressed, just for have them, USDA, where to send the information and so forth.
Information about what, the loan?
Whatever comes up, the
Right?
bid,
It's the loan for this project.
for everything involved.
The
Whatever.
USDA is involved in everything?
Whatever has to do with the project. It doesn't specifically say the loan. All right, anybody, does anybody else on the board have any?
I have.
There was a letter received, it's in the Board of Selectmen's office, and it was from the USDA, and it involved requesting to know if the town was planning to proceed with this project or not. They requested this information be returned to them by April 25th of 2012, because if Templeton is not moving forward with this project, they apparently have other communities where this $1.9 million could go, because they have, apparently, the gist of that letter is they have other entities interested in the $1.9 million that they set aside for Templeton for this project. And that's what I got from that letter. They were looking for two things: a point of contact and a response whether or not we were continuing forward with this project. There is a copy of that letter in the Board of Selectmen's office. It should be public record, no problem.
Anybody else on the board have any comments on what they would wish to do with the letter?
Why would you do anything else about it?
Can't hear it.
And here,
I'm not sure why I understand we should do anything else about it. The chairman very often becomes a contact person for this, so
I think Penny was next.
Just a quick question, Mr. Chairman. What would happen if whoever is designated as the contact person is no longer on the select board?
Then it would be go to the, whoever takes their place, which I'm sure you're praying. Diana?
Is there any other projects that would apply to the USDA for the loan?
No. I'm gonna go to Bob, if he has anything. Bob and then Ken.
Yeah, it seems like, you know, you kind of jumping the gun to have a liaison with the USDA, and I'm just kind of wondering why it's so hard to have one with the Ethics Commission.
That's out of order. Kenny?
This wild
That-
law is 268A29.
All right, that's enough. Kenny?
Who signed the USDA? Who approved it? I mean, I don't remember a vote coming before you guys.
It's just been money set aside. I don't think, until the project goes forward, there won't be any.
Who signed the loan? Who signed for it?
There is no loan.
There is.
Select board usually.
Kurt?
I've got it right here.
This is pre-application.
No, we went through this process, this discussion before. There's no loan. It's just the application for the amount. So anybody else on the board have any other comments?
Who approved the pre-application? No one.
Who voted on the application? Did that come in front of the board, or it doesn't have to?
It was, it went to the,
I believe at the time, it's the same one that I saw on your site.
Yes.
It was signed by the same person that wrote it, who was at that time, when he wrote it, was the chairman of the Board of the Selectmen.
Which was not done at a meeting, that was not voted upon.
I was not there.
By the board.
It was.
The board is never
we're getting off the track here. We're getting off track here. But if the board want to do anything here, we just let it.
All right,
You
what
want-
you're doing, your committee, you're saying that your signature on that letter is a commitment by the town to proceed with this project.
No, it's just a contact person.
Yes. That's
Well,
what.
I just brought this, because Jeff brought it up the other night, just to clear the air, that it wasn't, it was intended to be on the agenda Monday night. So, that's that.
Ken, I still didn't get an answer. Does somebody, do you people have to approve that loan? How is that gonna get approved?
Yeah.
Or are you, well, I mean, because I just heard you say that you're doing, project designs, did I understand that right?
Yeah,
So what are we paying for that?
That's been voted at town meeting.
That was already voted
That-
for.
That's been voted at town meeting. It just went out to bid. And it should be coming in shortly.
On February 13th, we voted to let the municipal building committee go out to bid for the project, so we could get real numbers on the project. If the numbers come in way out of whack, then the project will die. If they come in under the budget that they need, then they will try to proceed forward with it. The 1.8 million was voted 2 years ago for this building. 1.9, sorry. So, they're trying to do the right thing to get this building done, but what happened, you guys all know the story, the roof thing changed, the roof laws changed, and we went out for more money and it got voted down. So they're trying to get real numbers to see if they can still do the project if they don't get an override. And if they can't and they don't get an override, then the project will probably die.
Yes, over there.
Mr. Chair, Dr. Wood, as you know, I was at the building committee, and Mr. Skelton had given me this beautiful booklet of that property down there. I would like to know, after analyzing this, many hours on this, why would it not be in the best interest to the people of the town to do a full 21E on this building to what's in this paperwork? I feel that that's what needs to be done.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has read this.
Yeah, at the last meeting for that committee, they voted to do that, do the
They're
next
gonna
step.
do that?
Yes.
Yes.
Just a follow-up to that. I haven't probably attended the last 4 or 5 meetings, but the last one I did attend, it was actually shortly after the vote. Kurt and I both went before the committee and told them they need to do that, or else they'll never get town support. If we can prove to the town that there is no contamination there, then maybe we can get the backing we need, and that's what we've told them, and so that's why they're going through with that.
Okay, thank you.
I have an answer to Mrs. Wilder's question
All
on the
right.
date of the application. On the face sheet of the application, it was signed by Gerald Skelton on December 3rd, 2010. Mr. Skelton was not a member of the Board of Selectmen at that point in time. The application was submitted February 18th, 2009. It's stamped at the top, April 4th, 2011. That's on one sheet of paper. On the sixth sheet of the application, on section 15, it says that this application needs to comply with all EPA regulations, including a 21E, which has not been done to this point in time. Has not been done prior to the application or pre-application being signed. There's been no vote by the Board of Selectmen to apply for this loan. I think that's an issue for the town.
Yeah?
Where's this loan coming from for the $1.9 million?
Excuse me?
USDA.
Now, who's on the hook to pay for that loan? Now, the taxpayer.
It's a loan from the USDA, who the town people, who end up paying for it. All right, we need to move along.
I didn't hear you answer for Julie.
What?
I didn't hear you answer for Julie, Chair. I'm kind of interested on,
Well,
the Board of Science.
this is getting off the track. I just wanted to bring that letter to the board's attention. It wasn't my intention to not, the main intention was to put it on the agenda Monday night, and it didn't get put on. That's all the point I was trying to make. So we're gonna move on. Dan, while she's changing the tape, go ahead.
Two comments regarding the USD loan. I understand you made a mistake, or it sounds like you made a mistake regarding signing the letter, and somehow it got mailed out.
Right. It was the intention to put it on the agenda.
Mistake. It should have come before the board, you would have,
Correct.
but it didn't. There's, another difficulty is that you happen to be on the building committee for the town hall, and there, as you know, everybody knows here, there's a deep divide over whether or not we should move forward with that town hall. So it further complicates the issue where, yes, it was a mistake, but you did send it out. You did indicate that you would be the contact person, and that the town was interested in moving forward with the USD loan. That's a little too complicated to suit me. I think you should retract that letter. The board decide what they want to do.
Well, that's what my question was, if nobody's
The board decide what they want to
responding.
do. My second comment regarding the USD loan. According to our past treasurer, Tammy Collier, the way we receive money from the USDA is we receive the money as a construction loan, and then once the project is completed, we go out for bonds. We have the money for the construction loan. We can't spend it to the town that addresses us to do so, but we have the money. We're paying $25,000 a year for that money. So it's not a loan that we might get. We have the money. So please don't mislead people by saying that it's just, a possibility. We've got
Well,
the money.
it has to go forward, and then.
We have the money.
Okay, thank you. All right. All right. It's up to the board if you want to do it. You want to take, you want to name somebody else or whatever. Leave it as it is.
I don't find, personally, I don't find it to be a problem that the chairman signed it, but if everybody thinks that that's a conflict of interest or something because he's on the committee, I don't.
Kurt, you're on the building committee. You have any problem with whoever the board, chairman of the board of selectmen is being a contact person?
I mean, it's not my call. I mean,
I showed you that letter that day it come in.
You want it to be a committee member instead?
I'm actually,
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. You put Kurt on the spot. When you yourself will not answer any question that the people in this audience are asking. You're asking that gentleman over there to put him on the spot.
No, I'm not. I just asked for Go ahead.
I was, from our, sad to say, former town coordinator, called and asked, who told me that it came in, and he asked me what I thought as a committee member because of the date, because the date was, I think, a week too short of getting the answer or something like that. What was the date, 20-something or something, they needed an answer by? And so he asked me my opinion. My opinion was, well, just send it back to USDA showing the bid docs, because it had already gone out for bid, and I guess that's what, under the assumption, that's what he did, was a copy of the bid in the central register and sent it along with it. But as far as the contact person, we're talking actually two different things, but I'm not afraid to say, the town coordinator asked my opinion, I gave my opinion, and we discussed it, and he took my advice just to answer them as far as saying, what are you doing? So he answered it saying, we're out to bid right now. Hope that helps.
All right, thank you. All right.
Question?
Bubsy?
Yeah. Once again, I'm confused. You know, as I understand it, we don't have a loan, just an application. the gentleman over here says we're paying interest. I don't know how we're paying interest on an application. And the other thing is, I know at town meeting, because I was there, that we voted to appropriate $1.9 million for the project. When we did it, we did not vote an override or a debt exclusion for that $1.9 million.
Exactly.
So, where is this $30,000? Is it $30,000 the gentleman said per year? 25,000 a year? Where is the 25,000 coming from in this time when we're having such a difficult time with town finances? So if we don't have a loan, why are we paying interest? And how are we going to come up with the $1.9 million? If there's no override or debt exclusion. That's why I'm confused. Maybe the chair has some answers. I would appreciate it very much.
I just brought this letter forward tonight.
That's the question.
We don't have this information here.
Well, when are you going to have that?
Sue?
To answer Bumsey's question as to how we're paying for it, from what I've heard and seen, it's a 40-year mortgage, Mr. Dennis.
Oh.
It's borrowing from the USDA for 40 years. It's borrowing from the USDA for 40 years.
Okay.
We have already
I can
borrowed.
clarify.
All right.
I can clarify.
Dan, the last one.
The note we have now, the money we have now, the loan, 1.9 million, it's a construction loan, equivalent to a construction loan. It's temporary borrowing. When the project is completed, then we go out to bond, we bond it for however many years, the proposal is 40 years, someone has said. But right now, that's not the path that we're taking. This is temporary borrowing, and it's costing us $25,000 a year, plus because of the size of the bond, you have to also pay a person that knows about those things an extra $5,000. And it gets a commission every year. We've had it for 10 years. Going on the third, it's going to come through in November. So if we don't act on it, we just keep paying. So we need to be clear. If we have the money, we're paying interest on it, we can't afford it, so we ought to decide whether to give it back or not. And if you're asking people, again, we're deeply divided on this. If you're going to ask people who are on the building committee for their opinion, you're probably going to get an answer that you would like, because you want to see this building built. You ask the other people in town.
Can I rebut to that?
Yeah.
I'd like to, Dan, just for the record, okay? I've been on the committee for 7 years. We started it saying, we're gonna do it, we can do it, we're gonna do it with no taxation. It's just basically the money we're spending now or has been over the years. The roof thing came up, everybody knows about the building code change, okay? But I'll tell you right now, I stood alone on it, but at the committee meeting, I voted by myself, for no override. I did not vote for the override. I still don't agree with it. But I will go on record saying I'm the one that said, we've been working on this thing this long, we obtained ownership of the building, and for us not to go out to bid to find out what the real number was would have been more of a mistake. So we're gonna know May 2nd, and hopefully the economy, as much as it sucks for everybody that's in it today, we might be able to take advantage of it, because my goal is that we can get it done for less money than we thought. And we're going to know May 2nd, so hopefully the town will come back together and stop being divided. We're going to have the real answers, and hopefully no extra money and still get the same building.
All right, we need, we're going to move along now. All right. All right. Discuss temporary appointment for the town coordinator position. Ed, I'm going to read this. No. As you know, the town coordinator, Jeff Ritter, has resigned immediately for personal reasons. All right. All right, if this continues, you all have to leave.
May I suggest a recess, sir?
We're gonna move on.
These people, they're not going to cooperate. They're not going to let you speak. They're not going to let you do anything. They're coming here with anger in their hearts and in their mind.
Yeah, as, I'll start over. As you know, the town coordinator, Jeff Ritter, has resigned, meeting for personal reasons. Due to the upcoming town meeting and other town business necessary for the proper and orderly functioning of the town, the town appointed temporary interim town coordinator. It is my intention, after appropriate discussion, to nominate Carol Skelton to serve in this capacity. They're disrupting, not over. They're disrupting the meeting. All the people out there.
Pay your payroll.
Tell me what to remove. Or should we- Tell me what you did wrong.
All the people that, yes. All the ones that are over on this side of the meeting.
Unbelievable, unfair. You know what, it's all right for us to fight.
All right, that one and that one.
That's not right.
That one's for that. Yeah, that one goes to.
Okay, you know what, there's gonna be a problem this time. You're asking me a problem this time, I gotta go door to door, and I'm telling you, credibility. This is unbelievable. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Columbus, Wilden, and Mullen. I am leaving. And I'm also a taxpayer in here. I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna go door to door.
Take the left.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Is that the Lions Club?
The language you're using in the school.
God is bad language, right?
Tom,
Regardless of what everybody thinks about Carol Skelton, or the way it was done, or whether you're for or against her, what's done is done. You need to leave it alone, get past it, and move on. Do not bring Carol Skelton back. The well is poisoned. If you're worried about lawsuits, stand your ground and let her do it, and move on. The well is poisoned. Do not bring back what has happened in the past. Don't do it.
That was your campaign, move forward. That's what you told all of them. Yeah.
Twice.
Phoenix Court, let's move forward.
You, Ms. Wilder, sat in front of me. Hold it, wait a minute. He goes, tells this start, and promised me you would let the people speak. I think you need to do that.
Yes.
You know what? We've let more people speak in these meetings than we were ever allowed to speak before. Take Penny Carini out of here.
please take the Carini out.
You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm not proud of it. You should be ashamed of yourself. You don't know.
You know, you think that you can
Hey,
the way it was, you
please.
can't. No, but you don't have the floor.
You don't
I'm
have the-
65 years old. Don't
You don't have the floor.
Neither does Mrs. Wilder.
Mr. Columbus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish reading this.
Columbus, may I speak?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman,
No,
you run this meeting, not Virginia Wilder. Have her go through the chair. And don't bang the gavel at me while she's sitting there
No,
running
no.
them up. Take control of the meeting and do your job.
I'll keep, no, I'm gonna finish reading
Can I
it.
speak, please? In a nice tone.
Due to the upcoming town meeting, other town business is necessary for the proper and orderly functioning of the town, as the town appointed temporary interim town coordinator. My intention to appropriate discussion nominate Carol Skelton to serve in this capacity until June 30th, 2012. I will accept the motion to move Carol Skelton be appointed temporary interim town coordinator from effective April 17th to June 30th, 2012. There's been a motion. Yeah.
That was mine, I'm sorry.
From April 17th to June 30th.
April 17th.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
And there's a second. Any discussion on the board?
Does she in fact want this job?
Because I asked.
I'm asking the chair through the floor. Got it?
I got it, it's right, boy. About time.
Anybody else on the board have any discussion?
All right, here's my whole take on this whole crap. And this is what's dividing this town. As you know, I was against firing Carol in the first place, okay? I was also against Mr. Ritter leaving because I think he deserved a chance to do the job. I thought he should stay until the end of our budget season. He decided not to. He decided to leave this week. That was his choice. I'm not making allegations. I'm just telling you my conversation with Mr. Ritter was he was going to leave this week. I wanted him to stay through this budget so we could get the budget done. He's been working on it since January. And I got to tell you, if you bring Carol back, you're making a big mistake right now because there's too much hostility. If you want to get to it, you're going to have to keep it down from the
Carol's got a lot of experience. She's versed in the.
Why don't you tell him the truth?
Exactly. Now, she said the subject the Skelton way to the highway. Is that what I heard? The Skelton way to the highway. Don't make them up.
Anybody else on the board have any discussion? We're going to take the vote.
Let the people speak. Let the people speak. You don't have to like what they say. Let the people speak.
Let the people speak.
I move.
Get sued out here.
Mr. Mitchell.
Isn't that a conflict of interest to be hiring somebody back that's suing me? That's not a
Mrs.
conflict
Skelton
of
has
interest
a
in this
lawsuit
town?
against the town of Templeton.
That's not up for discussion.
That is part of the discussion.
That's what you need a discussion on.
You should allow
I
discussion.
I move to make a temporary appointment for the town coordinator's position for Carol Skelton.
You kept your word.
You're not moving on.
You're not allowing us to.
Moving on.
Yep. Mr. Bennett?
Seeing how all contracts and appointments are void of the change of the Board of Selectmen, no way am I voting in someone who is currently suing the town of Templeton. My vote is no.
My vote is no.
Yeah. Virginia? And yes.
Oh, well.
Where's the discussion? I think, I'll take, accept the motion to adjourn.
Nobody in the account to pay anyone. It's about $2,000.
Where you gonna pay?
No, there is amount of hours that we can get left.
No,
I'll take a motion to make I get a second? Motion is made to adjourn, second. Pat? Virginia? Chris?
Mr. Bob Constantino for $14,000 check without the check from Ritter. And that's from him, not him.
Jeff?
No, people want to ask questions, there's no business in the.
Motion carries 3-2. Meeting adjourned.
Recall coming, baby.
You got that? Can you see that? Huh? I got a mic. What's he sell for
Shame of yourself.
Might as well. I know what's going to happen. Virginia hasn't had this much attention in her whole life.
That's